I'm not happy at all. So we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, Karen, let's talk about it. Oh, hey guys, and welcome to today's idiot video. Today's video is a COVID Karen video where a self-entitled Karen thinks her right to do whatever the hell she wants to do supersedes everyone else's rights at a medical facility. So let's begin.
To play the game. I'm willing to play the game today. Why? Because we have an appointment today. My daughter, who is now overdue, has been sent to get an ultrasound, and I'm willing to play the game to go to the ultrasound with my daughter, right?
I'm only going to say this once to you, Karen. COVID-19 is not a game. As of today, over 180,000 Americans have lost their lives to this pandemic, in large part to anti-mask idiots like you who keep spreading it.
Even if they're not going to let me back in the room, which they won't, by the way, they won't allow you to go back. Know that nobody can go with you to an ultrasound, okay? But I'll sit in the waiting room. Just want to be there with her, right? I'm her support. I'm it. Like, it's me and her, right?
I really dislike people like this, Karen. People who can't just let other people live their own lives. People who insist on living vicariously through you, whether you want them to or not. Karen, your daughter's pregnant, not you. And if you're the only support that she has in this world, well, it sucks for her that the only person supporting her is a bona fide idiot.
We go to the door to the place and they won't allow me in. You can't even go in the building with your person. You can't even go in the building. Like, I cannot go in the building with my daughter who is nearly 41 weeks pregnant. I can't go in the building with her. I have to sit in my car.
Oh, Karen, you poor troglodyte. You already said that you can't go back with your daughter when she gets the actual ultrasound. So what's the big deal about you waiting in the car instead of the waiting room? It might not be ideal, but we aren't exactly living in an ideal situation now, are we? And face it, Karen, you're completely insignificant to the entire process. So why should they just let some idiot unnecessarily pose a risk to all the other patients who are there for actual medical treatment? And just because you want to isn't a good enough reason, Karen.
You can go to Walmart, to Target, to Lowe's, to Home Depot, anywhere you want to go. You can go anywhere you want to go with as many people really as you can bring with you in your car. Yet I can't go with my daughter to an ultrasound because she's overdue and they want to check and make sure everything's okay.
But what's the difference between Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, and a doctor's office? Do you not understand that people go to the doctor's office that have conditions like lupus, diabetes, and other medical conditions that put them at a higher risk with COVID-19? Not to mention, if the doctors did find something wrong, the last person that they're going to get advice from is some idiot who got her medical degree on Facebook.
And even if it wasn't an important ultrasound, maybe even if it was just a gender reveal ultrasound, it's stupid. It's stupid that I can't go in there with her. It is stupid that she's sitting in there alone.
No, Karen, you're stupid for selfishly thinking that your personal wants trump the needs of the many. And there are plenty of women who go through the pregnancy process without a single person there to support them or wait with them in the waiting room, and they have babies just fine.
It is stupid that we're allowing this to happen because it's up to us. We're the ones allowing this to go on, right? We actually have the power, except everybody has gotten too lazy to stand up and fight. They've gotten too comfortable in the freedoms that people died for to stand up and fight for what's right.
As a veteran of the U.S. Navy, I would love to know what you think I serve for.
And what's right is that I should be able to go in that building with my daughter today.
Karen, you're a fucking idiot. I don't think a single person served in the military just so you could have your way and be a team-killing fucktard. We serve this country to protect the rights of American citizens and to uphold the Constitution of the United States. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit back and let you dipshits undo everything that I and several other million people like me have busted our asses to build.
I am pissed. I am pissed off. I am sick and tired of laying down and taking it up the rear.
Well, you know what they say. If you don't want to lay down and take it up the rear, you can always go sit in your car and shut the fuck up, Karen. You sound like a petulant little child crying because Daddy Skeptic didn't buy you a toy at the store. Follow the fucking rules and don't be a fucking idiot.
From the madness that goes on. Why? Because people are scared. People are so scared to say anything. People are so scared to do anything. If we just wear our masks for a little while, just a little while, right? If we just wear our masks for a little while, then it'll all go back to normal. Honey, it ain't going back to normal. Nothing is going back to normal until you decide to get off your rear and fight.
I hate to tell you this, Karen, but the new normal will never be the same as the old normal. COVID-19 has awakened us to the potential threat that viruses present not just to the American public, but to the entire world. It took this one virus to really open our eyes, and I can't see a future that doesn't take this threat seriously moving forward.
It is so stupid. It is so stupid. God forbid. God forbid. Something on that ultrasound isn't right and my daughter's in there alone. I promise you, you think I'm mad now? I will lose my ever-loving mind. I will lose my mind.
Karen, you lost your mind over 9,000 Facebook posts ago. You are a fucking idiot.
It is insane. It is insane. We are supposed to be a free country. Land of the free and home of the brave. We aren't either. Where are the brave people? Where are the people that are going to stand up and fight? Where are you at?
Well, the truly brave people are at the ER and the ICU facing this virus head on. Those are the people that are putting their lives on the line daily, while idiots like you continue to irresponsibly spread the virus from person to person. See, that's where the real brave people are at, Karen. The cowards are the ones that are sitting in their car bitching about a few inconveniences.
Why are you putting your mask on like a sheep and walking in every building? Why don't you take your mask off and say, no more? This is ridiculous. And before somebody even tries to say to me, but I'm immune compromised, then wear a mask or stay home. Wear a mask or stay home if you're scared.
Oh my God, I'm going to have a freak out myself. Karen, immunocompromised people don't have a fucking choice. You are a fucking idiot.
But I should be able to go in that building with my daughter and they're not letting me.
Well, good for them. Way to not let in a self-entitled, piece of shit, anti-mask idiot who doesn't give two fucks about the people around her.
There's a sign on the door. You can't even walk in. I can't even walk in the building with her. That is the stupidest thing in the world. The stupidest thing. But I can drive not even a mile down the street and I can walk in Target with her. I can walk in Kroger with her. I can walk in Home Goods with her.
Target and Kroger are places to shop, not medical facilities, you absolute idiot.
So, to be clear, this thing, right, that we call a mask, which is really more like a nasty panty liner that you're keeping on your face, okay?
You do realize that those are disposable masks, right? Karen, if you're wearing those masks until they smell like dirty vagina, then you're doing it wrong, you moron. You're an idiot.
This thing that you're wearing is supposed to keep you from getting the thing that they've got you so scared to get.
I love when people are so triggered that they put literal full stops after each word when they speak.
So, where's logic? Where's the logic then? If I'm willing to put this thing on, then why can't I go in the building if it works? Tell me the logic. Explain to me the logic.
Not that your dumbass will understand, but here we go. You know seatbelts, right? Seatbelts save lives. But they don't save all lives. But for the most part, seatbelts save lives. You know masks? masks reduce the spread of the virus. Now, masks don't completely stop the spread of the virus, but they do reduce the spread of the virus significantly enough that lives will be saved if the general public wears a mask during the pandemic. So even though you're reducing your risk of spreading COVID-19 should you have it, you're not completely eliminating it. And at a place like a doctor's office, where at-risk patients go to seek medical attention, your insignificant presence is simply too much of a risk, and they don't need to let you in. There, logic even an idiot can understand.
We can't blame anybody else. You need to look in the mirror. You need to say, what am I doing to fight back? As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go all in because I'm that mad now, right? You know what you're doing when you're sitting back and doing nothing? You're teaching your child to do the same thing. You're teaching your grandchildren to do the same thing.
And there's nothing wrong with being a good role model for your children and your grandchildren. And by wearing a mask, you show them that wearing a mask is okay and that they'll be fine wearing a mask too. You teach them that they should follow the rules that society is deemed acceptable. And finally, and most importantly, you teach them that following the medical advice of doctors should be embraced, not feared. Instead, you chose to be the type of role model that promotes them to be anti-science, anti-medicine, anti-government, anti-social, and a public nuisance. And if they follow too closely in your footsteps, Karen, they're going to become idiots too.
Instead, you need to decide to stand up. You know what? I won't wear a mask in public.
And you are a fucking idiot.
The only reason that I was going to wear one today was to go to this appointment because it's at a doctor's office, which is precisely why we're doing a home birth now. But that's another story.
Oh goodness. Please tell me that you're not about to try to deliver this baby at home just to get around mask restrictions. Let's forget for a moment that you're a complete fucking idiot. Delivering a baby is not something that you can just learn online in a Facebook group. Complications do occur, and God forbid that something bad happens to that baby, all because of your selfishness, Karen.
When I walk in a building and somebody says to me, you need to put on a mask, and whether I'm alone or got my family with me, you know what I say?
I don't know. Something like, make way. Karen and her unvaccinated family full of idiots coming through.
No, we don't wear masks, and I keep walking. And if they want to throw me out, then they can throw me out. But I refuse to let my daughter, my granddaughter, my daughter-in-law, or my boys see me bow down to the insanity that's happening.
Yeah, but you have no problem looking like a fucking idiot in front of them.
No, I won't. And you know what's so incredibly cool? Let me just tell you what is so incredibly cool. Is that people who are wearing a mask in there, once they see that I'm not, and that my daughter's not, and that my daughter-in-law's not, and whoever's with me's not, they take theirs off. Why? Because then suddenly they're like, wait a minute.
That's not something to be proud of, Karen. Because if it's true, and I highly doubt it is, then that means you're bragging about convincing other people to become a part of the problem that you're actually bitching about. Wear a fucking mask and don't be an idiot.
You just have to decide to do something about it. You just have to decide to quit being so worried about what your neighbor's going to think. You've got to decide that the freedoms that are going to be here for your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and so on, you have to fight for now, just like those that came before us had to fight for.
Again, you would be hard-pressed to find a veteran that says he fought for your right to put other American citizens' lives in danger. And it's probably best if these non-veteran Karens stop equating their inconveniences to the people who sacrificed their lives for this country. Karens are fucking idiots.
You better stop letting the crazies have control of our country, or you're going to wish you hadn't. It's going to be too late when you wake up and you actually absolutely have zero freedoms left.
Karen, do you consider it a lost freedom when gas stations require you to wear a shirt and shoes for service? Because it's the same fucking deal. No shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service, you idiot.
There's no reason that I shouldn't have been allowed to go in that doctor's office with my daughter today. Not one.
Well, you're an inconsiderate anti-mask piece of shit. That's one. You're not qualified to be anything more than a boring conversation piece. 2. And 3, we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, you idiot.
If they thought for a second that we actually would stand up, they wouldn't do any of this. But they watched every one of us, every single one of us, do nothing. Be afraid. Be afraid of whatever they're saying is out there.
Oh, great. So you're an outright COVID-19 denier as well. Well, to be frank, the CDC and WHO don't give a fuck about whether a few entitled soccer moms and roid rage dads are pissed off because of the necessary social restrictions that occurred during a pandemic. Their job is to save idiots, not listen to them.
You can think that I'm being rude. You can think that I'm crazy. I don't care. I truly do not care. What I care about is that I should have been able to go in there with her today. That her mother should be right there by her side. The person that has not missed one single appointment. I've not missed one thing with her and this baby. And I can't go in there with her. She's by herself and I'm pissed. And you should be too.
Oh, Karen, we're not pissed off. We're actually laughing at you while you're crying. It's actually entertaining to watch a grown-ass idiot cry and throw a temper tantrum just because she's not getting her way.
I've heard horrific stories of people being alone.
Yeah, because there's just so many horrific stories about patients getting injured during ultrasounds. Karen, you're a fucking idiot.
And lastly, this. Don't believe a dang thing the media is telling you. I promise you, the silent majority, which needs to rise up and stop being so silent, is much bigger and is much more powerful.
See, that's where you're wrong, Karen. The silent majority does what's right. They wear a mask and they don't bitch about it. That's why they're called the silent majority. You are in the vocal minority, which is filled up with a bunch of uneducated, anti-science idiots who delusionally believe that they know more than the entire body of medicine and science combined when it comes to pandemics. And I agree, you shouldn't get your medical information from the media, but you sure as shit shouldn't get it from social media like Facebook either. You should always follow what's posted on the CDC's and WHO's websites or consult your family doctor when seeking medical information. And I guarantee that following those links for information will help keep you from catching Karenitis and looking like a total fucking idiot. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you found this video interesting, then give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And a massive shout out to all of my channel members and patrons whose continued support helps me keep doing what I love to do, calling out idiots on the internet. I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm out.